Hello and welcome to episode 182 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, we will be predicting the 2025 Game Awards in full. But before we get to all that, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Kleinfeld, and alongside me today, as always, are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, it is the digital art daredevil himself, Tom Drew. Tom, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right. I feel like it's not gaming related necessarily, but I feel like I've gone through the whole kind of whirlwind of cinema this past weekend. I started off with Wake Up Dead Man, this very like I call him an auteur. Ryan Johnson directed mystery thriller. Then watching Zootopia, which is more like a popcorn, blockbustery kind of movie, and then topping it all off with the cherry on top, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So more on that and our thoughts on that later. But it's been kind of crazy going through all of those movies.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to hearing about your FNAF thoughts, both of you. Next up, it is the journalist extraordinaire, the Australian abroad / the Canadian in trading, Lauren Rouse. Lauren, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've oddly had the exact same week as Tom. I saw Knives Out 3, I saw Zootopia 2, and then I saw FNAF. So we're living the same lives in different
That's
countries.
crazy.
Across the world, but you guys are doing exactly the same thing. You love to see it. The hive mind continues to hive mind over here on Controller Club. Let's get into the show today. As I teased, we'll be predicting the 2025 Game Awards. They are coming up this Thursday. We'll be doing a full live stream here on the Controller Club YouTube channel. So if you're listening on podcast services around the globe, head on over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell so you know exactly when we go live for the Game Awards this year. And if you don't know, the Game Awards are an annual celebration thrown by Jeff Keighley and the gaming industry as a whole, honoring everything in the world of gaming over the last 365 days. And as a part of that, there are, yes, a lot of trailers and announcements, but between those trailer announcements, they give out various awards. And so we'll be going through all the nominees here today and picking our winners category by category. But before we look at the nominations, I want to ask the two of you, as we're heading into the Game Awards 2025, have you had the chance to take a look at the noms at all? How are you feeling about the ceremony itself heading into it? Do you have any thoughts you want to get off your chest before we get into this exercise? Lauren?
Um, Not really. I mean, I know
No.
there's always controversy no matter what with the Game Awards. Gamers love a bit of controversy. Um, I'm not too sure what it's all about this year. I think there was some talk about maybe Claire Obscure being not an indie. Like, why is it still dubbed an indie sort of vibe? People were questioning that. At the same time, I think it's going to be a big year for Claire Obscure, so I don't really know how that's going to play out. And nor do I really think there's this weird like distinction between what makes an indie game and what doesn't, which I think maybe there needs to be a firmer line in the sand drawn so we don't keep debating this. But I mean, I just don't really care. It's the Game Awards. At the end of the day, we all get to have a vote. It doesn't really count for much, but we all get to vote. And yeah, it's a trailer show at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what it is. It has kind of turned into this showcase E3 kind of deal that happens to hand out some trophies between the trailers and commercials. But Tom, how are you feeling about the Game Awards as we head into the 2025 edition, our third or fourth as a podcast? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. I think third or fourth. Yeah, actually,
Third, I
I'd have
think
to
it's
look
third. I
back.
think it's third.
Yeah,
It
I
will
think
be our
so.
second live streamed Game Awards.
Yes.
Last year, the 2024 Game Awards was our very first YouTube live stream ever.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about that it's been, a year since then. So that's fun. But yeah, like I briefly looked through the nominations, um, and it is kind of crazy. It just reminded me how kind of crazy this year's been. It did feel like at the
Mm.
start of the year they're like I wasn't really sure where 2025 would like land, but it's been kind of a banger year for gaming. There's just so much competition, especially in comparison to last time. I think last time there were definitely more clear winners in a lot of these categories, but a lot of them I'm kind of looking at and I'm like, I really don't know. Like, there's a good shot for a lot of these games to take away the top spot. It's really tricky. So, and like you guys said, like obviously, a lot of this is set dressing for just like a bunch of other like marketing and trailers for stuff. But it is fun to see, uh, games get recognized and developers get recognized in particular. The one thing that stood out to me, uh, was I think it's best debut indie game. I don't know if you guys saw this, but One of the games that was gonna be here, Megabonk, the developer actually withdrew from being considered for this category because technically it wasn't their debut game. They'd actually like made other games under different like names essentially, and different like studio names essentially, which I thought was like commendable in the fact that like they were like, I've made games before, so I don't feel like I need to be recognized for like this being my first game, and letting these other games kind of stand out. But it's also on the flip side of that, it's kind of weird now. There's only four like games in this category. Like they didn't Jeff Keighley didn't go turn around and go like, okay, you've withdrawn. Like let's let another game get showcased here. But that was the only major thing that kind of said it to me. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
That was an interesting story simply because I'm sure that I don't know. I guess that a lot of these games are like their studio's first game. It is a debut indie, but I don't
Mm.
think any of these developers haven't worked on a gaming project outside of the studio or anything at all prior to
Well,
this.
this is
And
the
so
thing.
for
Yeah.
this Megabonk developer to come out, it seems to be this one guy and say, like, I have done other
Mhm.
things. I guess it is a little different because it seems to be a solo venture. So
Mhm.
he comes out and says, no, I've done things before. They've just been under other names. It isn't my debut. I don't want to be considered. That's his prerogative, that's his choice. I'd rather he do that than, I don't know, win and then have some big massive controversy when he gets up on stage and is like, "Oh, like I've made a few games before," and then we're questioning the validity of these things even more. But it is like an interesting conversation to have specifically with debut indie because like debut or like breakthrough artists at the Grammys win all the time on their third, fourth, fifth album. Like they've been doing it for a
Yeah.
long time. And I feel like debut indie, these people a lot of times have been doing this for quite a while. They just like, this is their first game under this studio name.
Yeah. Well, like Claire Obscure is there, for example, and I'm sure
Well,
obviously
those are
that's
all
their.
ex Ubisoft people, right? Like
This is the
that's
thing.
so
They've
they've
worked on
made
games.
games before as well under the
Yeah.
Ubisoft
Mm.
umbrella. So it is like it's a very
It's
complicated thing.
tricky.
Um, I think ultimately, in the end of it all, the Megabonk developer would have been eligible. I mean, people
Yeah.
put him up for it. He would have been eligible because this is this studio's this iteration of him making games. This is debut release. But you know, if he doesn't feel comfortable with it, that's commendable. Like that is I do I do have some respect for him coming out and be like, "No, like I would rather somebody else win." Because I think he would have had a pretty good shot. This Megabonk game is quite
Yeah.
popular. But it is like I've never seen somebody do that with any of these sort of nominations. Usually get the nomination, you're like, "Sure, like I'll show up. I'll get in my suit. I'll go and shake hands with Phil Spencer and all the like glitz and glam of the gaming industry." But he was kind of like, I'll step back. This isn't my year." Okay, I think it's time. I think we've danced around it enough. We can get into the nominations themselves. And at the very end of this, I want to ask you guys, so think about this. Trailer announcements, predictions, just like any little things. We can talk about that at the end of these nominations. But to start, we have the most anticipated game award. This is the award handed out for the most anticipated upcoming game, and this is one of the awards that fans have a significant portion of the vote in. Every other award, fans can vote, but it isn't counted for very much at all, if at all. I don't think this one, the fans can have their voice. The nominees are 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. Does anyone feel strongly about planting their flag in one of these right away?
I mean, it's probably the same as last year because the
Yeah.
game got
Yeah.
pushed out of this year. It's GTA 6 for me. I think that's until that comes out, it's gonna be the most anticipated thing every time.
Tom, do you think so as well?
Yeah, I think this is easy. I don't the thing that comes close maybe is probably Witcher 4, but like
Mm.
I don't think it come like I don't think it is anywhere near as popular as GTA 6 is going to be. So yeah, I think this is basically a
Particularly because
free
Witcher
vote.
4 is probably gonna be like a 2027, 28 game.
Yeah.
So, like, that still has
If
chances to
that.
win in the future. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that GTA 6 is the most anticipated entertainment launch of maybe ever, and so it is going to win here. It will be the thing. So, yep, it's all chalk on the first one. I don't think I mentioned this before we started the nominations, but every year that we do this, I total up points at the end, and then next week, after the awards have happened and we do our episode, I'll say who had the best correct or but the most correct guesses, the best predictor of the 2025 Game Awards. And so right now, it could be a tie. We head on over to the next one, which is best multiplayer. The nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction.
Interesting. So, I mean, it's just multiplayer. I suppose this does count, but I'm just like, Split Fiction is technically co-op. I guess there's no co-op category. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to put it here. But that's just interesting because it's not what I would typically think of as a multiplayer game. That being said, that's not what I'm picking. I'm going to pick Battlefield 6.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Battlefield
okay.
6. Lauren's putting her flag. Any reason why?
I think Battlefield came back in a big way this year. I think this has been like a return to form for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are getting right back into it. So I just feel like it's got good momentum.
For sure. Tom, what about you? What do you think you're picking?
This is like what I was kind of referring to when I said this is like really tough. Like I think like most of these have a pretty good shot at winning, especially like Arc Raiders now like has really hit like a I don't know, it's just hit the kind of gaming world at like a really good spot and people are really enjoying it. Having said that, I think I'm gonna give it to Peak. Just because I think Peak like it's such a unique take on like a multiplayer game. People call it like friend slot. I think it's a weird like term for games like this, but like it's a cool way of doing this cooperative thing. You can also sabotage people if you want to do that. But it's also just got like a really cool art style. The proximity chat in that like adds so much to it. Obviously, the Arc Raiders has that too, but like I just think it's maybe pieced it off in like recent months, but the impact it's had like since it launched, I think I don't think it should get an award, so I think I'm gonna go with the Peak.
I'm going to go with Arc Raiders. We're all different here, simply because there's one thing that this industry loves to do, and it is be captured by the moment. And Arc Raiders right now is having a moment. People are talking all about it. You want to talk about proximity chat. You want to talk about all the biggest streamers hopping on. My only issue with this would be I don't know when votes were collected. So is this maybe too late? Like, did this come out too late and have its moment too late in the process for it to win? I don't know, but I'm gonna take the chance and say Arc Raiders. Next is Best Sports and Racing. We have EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
I'm gonna go Mario Kart. I think
You're
it's
Mario
gonna
Kart?
be Mario Kart. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Sonic. I know you're Hatsune Miku and Steve from Minecraft and you now, but like I just think you know Mario Kart World really like shook up the formula for the franchise. It added like new tricks for your car. It added like new racing dynamics, new like an even more expanded roster of characters or like races when you're doing races. I think it kind of innovated in a way that I think it will get this.
Lauren, do you
I'm
agree?
also
Yeah.
going Mario Kart. I think it was the biggest racing game of the year.
I want to say Sonic just because I think that it's a better game than Mario Kart World. And Mario Kart World has kind of like there's been some Mario Kart World hate going around over the last few months. People are
Oh
like
really?
this. Yeah, I don't know. It is not resonating quite like I thought it would. They did do like a big update in the last week
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
added a bunch of changes a lot of people wanted, including a volume slider for the music. But instead of a slider, because Nintendo can't just make a slider, it's a toggle. And so in the options it says normal or loud. And that's the music volumes that you get.
That's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Sonic. I'm
Go on.
going to
Wow.
be the change in the
Okay.
world I want to see. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would like to be right if it does. Next is Best Sim and Strategy Game. We have The Alters, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum.
This is a shot in the dark, really.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a blind spot for sure.
I would like to start the bidding, and I'm going to say Final Fantasy Tactics. I know that's a remaster of a game that people already liked, but people like that remaster, so that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think that's probably good. probably a good bet. I'm gonna go with the altars just because I think the concept was kind of interesting. I think people seem to like it. I didn't get
People
around
like
to it
that game.
unfortunately, but
Mhm.
so yeah, I think I'll go the altars.
I think I'll go with Civ 6. That seems like a big strategy game that came out this year.
Civ 7.
Yeah,
7, sorry.
Moving on to Best Family Game, also known as what I like to call the Nintendo Award. We have Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. Split Fiction, interesting family game entrant. I guess it's simply like, oh, you can play with someone else, family.
yeah, I suppose so.
It's got family themes, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Also, Donkey Kong Bonanza, like family game, it is a single player game. Like there's I don't know. I'm gonna say Mario Kart for this one.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
What
I
about you,
Even though
think
I
Tom?
I'm
just
gonna
picked
go.
Sonic in that other one. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Diversifying your votes here.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go Donkey Kong Bonanza, just because. I mean, I don't want to like show my hand too much here, but I think I love Donkey Kong Bonanza. I love my time with it. It's like it's so cool what they did with that game in terms of like the traversal and the worlds and just the digging around and stuff. It's so cool. Um, and I think it's like of these like maybe the best of these, but I just don't know if I think this might be one of the few times like Bonanza maybe gets a shout out. So
Yeah.
I think this is probably the area we'll
Smart.
get that.
Lauren?
Yeah, I'm going Donkey Kong as well. I think that was
Okay.
like Nintendo's big headliner this year. Like you say, it's the Nintendo Award.
Next is Best Fighting Game. Nominees are 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. Notable in this category, 3 of these games are re-releases of other games.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Like, and 2XKO technically isn't out yet, right? Is in like
It is.
alpha?
Nope, it is out.
Oh, okay.
They left early access like a few weeks ago. They have their full console release finally announced for January. It's all
Okay.
happening.
Interesting. I think of these, it's not Mortal Kombat. Sorry, because I've seen stuff from that, and like the ports are not great. So I think I'm gonna go with Fatal Fury, just because it's the one I've heard the most about. It's weird because the game has like Cristiano Ronaldo in it as a player for some reason.
Mhm. And some DJ
But
that happens to be friends with the Saudi royal family as well.
Oh,
such
good.
a weird thing. But I think of these, it's probably made the most impact. Maybe 2XKO, but I think Fatal Fury is probably gonna get it.
I think you're crazy. I think it's 2XKO. Like
Okay.
I love 2XKO. 2XKO. It has actually really gotten its hooks in me, and I've been playing quite a bit of it. I like it a lot, and it is I think the biggest surprise from the fighting game world this year. In a year that we didn't really have like a ton of big releases coming off of the last couple of years where it was like, oh, we have Tekken 8 and we have Street Fighter 6. Now it's like, okay, 2XKO is here and it's here to stay.
I know nothing, so I'm going to go to XKO as well.
Next year, this award will definitely go to Marvel Token.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, I guess that Invincible game's also going to come out, and the
Oh,
Avatar game. Maybe it might be a little more
bigger
Continue finding
competitive
package.
than we
it. Yeah.
think. Next up is Best RPG. The nominees are Avowed, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, The Outer Worlds 2, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Is this where the Clair Obscure run begins?
Yeah.
It's where it begins for me.
Yeah, definitely for me as well. Like I think it's got yeah. I think Clair Obscur is gonna sweep a lot of these categories. And,
Yeah.
yeah, this is gonna be
I
a good one.
would, on your Donkey Kong conversation you had earlier, Tom,
Hmm.
I would like to think maybe the voters are like, yeah, well, it's going to win the big one, so we'll give it to, I don't know, Kingdom Come. A lot of people really like that game and think it's like
Mm.
this is the game of the year that no one's talking about. With that
Mhm.
said, I think Claire Obscure is going to win, and it's going to win everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is Best Action Adventure Game. The nominees are Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Split Fiction.
Now this is tough.
Yeah, this is
This is
cruel.
very
It's like
This
one
is
category that Claire
insane.
Obscura is not in.
It's insane.
Very, very, very tough. However, it has Hollow Knight Silksong in it. And I don't know. I think that like we've had so many, especially in the back half of this year, we've had so many 10 out of 10 games. These amazing games. And Claire Obscura was a little earlier than that, but we've had Hades 2, we've had Hollow Knight Silksong. And in any other year, I think Hollow Knight Silksong would go on a run like Claire Obscura is probably going to go on. I don't think it will, but I have a feeling voters are going to be like, well, we have to, like, it's Hollow Knight Silksong. Like, we have to give it something. And so I have a feeling that they'll give it like this one here, Best Action Adventure.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning Silksong as well. I think I don't know. Maybe we'll get a couple others too, but I think of these, just like I don't know. I think it just stands out. Like, and I think like you said, Klein, like it is going to be a battle between like Claire Obscure, Silksong, Hades 2 maybe, and I think Silksong will claim the spot.
I don't know. I think Split Fiction is like too late. It was too early. Indiana Jones, didn't that come out last year?
It did, but it was post voter like deadline. And so when it came out, everyone was saying like, don't forget about Indiana Jones next year. Like, don't forget about Indiana Jones next year because people loved that game. That's why we'll talk about Troy Baker's nominated later here for his performance as Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go Ghost of Yote.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Very good game. Next up is Best Action Game, which is always like, what does that mean? That can mean so many different things. The nominees are Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Very different games.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's like, you call it action game, but these all encompass such different like facets of that genre, I suppose. I think my heart is leaning towards Hades 2. I think it's similar to the the bottom two categories where it's like, okay, we're gonna give the love to Claire Obscure this one, we're gonna give the love to Silksong, we're gonna give the love to Hades 2. I think it just makes sense for it to win this category here. Like I liked Doom the Dark Ages. I don't know if it's on that echelon though, and like the others I haven't really played. I guess Battlefield 6 maybe is the only other one that I could see maybe clinching it. Not to say that like Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden are like any worse. Like I've heard Shinobi's amazing, but I think Hades 2 is probably gonna take it.
I also think it's Hades 2. I think that
I also think it's Hades 2.
Similar to the Hollow Knight Silksong thing, in any other year, this would win Game of the Year, and it's not going to this year, probably. An interesting category every year, Best VR/AR Game. We have Alien Rogue Incursion, Ark Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. This is where the winners and losers on our little game that we do here are really decided, because it is just throwing a dart at a board and hoping we find the winner. I don't really know anything about any of these games. I know that Marvel's Deadpool VR just came out and got like 7s and 8s.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to like rattle in my brain if any of these that I've seen have like been higher than that.
I mean, The Midnight Walk is ringing a bell for some reason. Maybe we saw a trailer for it and it looked kind of cool.
This is that game that's like that kind of weird horror claymation-y kind of game where it's like you play this little pot dude. And I think this is probably where I'm leaning. I don't know much. I didn't even realize it came out actually because I had my eye on it and like it looks really cool. But I didn't even know it was VR either. So that's
is
kind
it
of cool, but also kind of scary.
Is it specifically VR or is it just have a VR mode?
No.
Right.
It's just you just have a VR mode. But I think I'm gonna give my vote to that. Why not?
Okay. I think I'm gonna go Deadpool, just because that was specifically built from the ground up for VR. Is kind of my reasoning.
And you know what a lot of these voters don't do? play VR games, and so they're gonna see a name they recognize and go, "Ah, that one. Well, check it."
Yeah.
For a very similar reason, I think I'm gonna go Alien Rogue Incursion.
Fair enough.
Sure.
Everyone's different on that. Next up is Best Mobile Game. We have Destiny Rising, which is a mobile version of Destiny I didn't know existed until today. Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which is the horse girl game, and Wuthering Waves. I'm doing the anime horse racing game.
I am too. Uma Musume sweep. It's coming. I
It
think this
captured
game
the
is
minds
genuinely,
and hearts of gamers earlier this year. Every
honestly,
podcast
like,
you had someone who was playing it.
yeah.
I kind of want to do that too.
Let's do it.
Just look, it looks so fun. I like it almost tempted me. Like it's that kind of like you basically train these horse girls and then they, depending on their stats, like they'll either win the race or not, I suppose. Which is a fun gaming mechanic. So
It's a
I think,
gotcha
yeah,
game with anime
it's also
girls
yeah.
who turn into horses that you race.
I mean, come on.
Why
Like,
not?
it's got to take it.
Yep.
Next up, we have Best Debut Indie Game. As Tom teased earlier, Megabonk, the developer, has withdrew from consideration, so there are only 4 nominees. The nominees are Blueprints, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Despelote, and Dispatch.
Well, this is the only category that Dispatch is in, therefore I will be voting for it.
Good for you, Lauren. You know what? You like the game. You want to see it up there.
Yeah. And I
I
think a
think it's
lot of
Clair
people are
Obscure.
with me.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Dispatch is
Okay.
a fan favorite.
I'm picking Clair Obscure just because I don't know. It's in the category.
Yeah. Oh, I honestly, if Megabonk had withdrawn, I think it would have been. I don't know if it would have won necessarily, but I think it would have had a good shot. Like Megabonk, I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay of it, and it looks fun. It's basically like a 3D Vampire Survivors esque kind of game. So, but like it's a unique spin to it. I could go the Clair Obscure, but I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go Blueprints. I didn't play it, but I've heard it's amazing. And I think this maybe could be where it gets recognized.
Are you locking that in? Blueprints is there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Something I will say for future categories featuring Blueprints, Blueprints notably has not been localized for a lot of the world. And so a lot of the world still hasn't played a version of it in their language. And so a lot of the international voters might not. Like, that's the only thing like that I'm worried about with like picking Blueprints for anything right now. It's because like
Interesting.
did people in Spain like even get to experience that game? Next up is Best Independent Game. We have Absolum, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. What a category. Also, if you like great roguelites this year, there's 4 right there.
Yeah, that genre is really like just taken over, which is insane. Oh my god. I think this is so tough. I think I just have to go with my gut. I think it's Silksong. I think I'm gonna go with Silksong. It is kind of the Hollow Knight is just the indie game. I mean, to me. So I think I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna
The indie game. Interesting. Because
Yeah,
all of these are
feels
indie
like-
games, Tom.
Yeah, but like to a lot of mainstream people, I feel like
I know.
the-
I know. That's the
it's
funny thing is when you say best independent game, a lot of people
Mm.
go Clair Obscure. That's not an independent game because a lot of people think like an independent game has to look a certain way and has to like
Mhm.
right like it has to be 2D or like really like grotesquely 3D and not have
Yeah, like
Yeah.
these
lo-fi.
like this high production value of something like a Clair Obscure.
I'm still going Clair Obscure though.
Okay.
What are you doing, Clay?
I'm I don't know. I think I can see a world in which like it's what view of the gaming industry do I want to have? I can see a world in which Clair Obscure wins best independent game. I can also see a world where the industry is like that's not an independent game. It looks too good. it has to be Hollow Knight Silksong, or it has to be Hades 2, or it has to be even something like Blueprints. But I think that we have maybe gotten past that. I guess if the Reddit commenters and the Twitter cretins were voting, maybe Clair Obscur wouldn't win. But I think because we have like the capital J journalists voting, it will. So I'm gonna do Clair Obscur. Next, we have Best Community Support. The nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy VII 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. I feel like this is the same category that we just like keep getting. Like I guess Helldivers would be new because it debuted last year, but those
It was
other
in last
games,
year.
they just keep showing up on this best community support thing.
Yeah.
This is another one that's just like, it could go anyway.
Yeah.
I think I'll go Baldur's Gate 3 just because you should never bet against Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, like they do. It's kind of crazy how they just keep like supporting that game, even they don't. They don't really need to at this point, but it's cool. Uh I'm just gonna go Fortnite. I think it's just. I think it's a safe bet for
Especially
this
coming off
one.
like the Simpsons season and stuff.
Yeah.
It really recaptured a lot of people. I'm gonna do No Man's Sky. I don't know why. Every time I see a trailer for that game, every expansion they do, it's just like how is this the same game I played in 2014? 2014, I think.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah.
It just is like crazy that they keep building upon this thing.
Yeah, and the community like is still there from what I know of
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. Like it's
I saw a
crazy how
video
they're still
yesterday that like you can now tame aliens and they have like procedurally
fine.
generated aliens on planets. And so people had tamed this like weird like hopping slug and were riding it around the planet. Like what this isn't
Okay,
what I was
That's fun.
doing in this game.
cool.
Next is best ongoing game. Final Fantasy VII 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. I think it's Marvel Rivals, right?
I think so. I think like the fact I'm surprised this isn't actually in community support because the way they have supported the game over this past year is kind of nuts. Just like the like amount of the rollout of its characters, like they started off with like 4 new characters with the Fantastic Four, and then it's been like 2 new heroes every couple months, which is kind of like a crazy turnaround. Not to mention like all of the other kind of quality of life stuff in comparison to a lot of these other ongoing games in terms of like the way the battle pass is a bit more friendly where it's not like you buy the battle pass and you just have it forever, you don't have like a certain amount of time you have to complete it in. There are obviously some other like more predatory things that have kind of snuck their way into the game over the year with any kind of game of this kind of caliber, but I think for the most part they've done pretty good. And it's just fun. Like I'm definitely not as high on it as I was like say like a year ago when it first came out, but like I'm still playing it. It's still fun. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Marvel Rivals.
Probably true. Yeah. I think it's got to be Marvel Rivals all round.
Okay, another wipe. Next up is Games for Impact. The nominees are Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and a Wander Stop.
I'm never quite sure how this works. What are they impacting? Like,
They're
what is
like
the
basically
definition of the category?
this is what I dumb it down to. These are the games that made the gaming industry cry the most. These are the
Uh,
games that like meant something, had dealt with maybe some important subject matter. Like Consume Me is a uh personal tale about I think an eating disorder. And like South
right.
of Midnight was like opening like showing the world a piece of like southern folklore and like a piece of the world that maybe we don't see a lot in gaming. Despelote was like this like emotional story about a kid in Chile, I think, during the World Cup in the 1990s. Like it's the
And what
games
does
that
Lost
have like
Records have?
I don't know.
Right. I feel like they should have a little message with what they
Yeah, it's
stand
like
for.
the
Yeah.
game that stands for something really I think is what this category is.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
You don't
To
know?
be
Okay.
honest,
I think
I
I just listened to an interview, maybe this is why I'm doing it, but I just listened to an interview with the developer of Consume Me, and so I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna pick that one because it sounds really cool. A one that isn't here that I haven't talked about on the podcast, but I played is called And Roger that came out this year, and it's about like without spoiling anything, it's about dementia and dealing with like a loved one with dementia, and the way that they gamify that was like incredible. And I've heard the similar things about Consumi about how they like kind of gamify the mental strain and the like physical toll of having an eating disorder.
okay, interesting. I think for me, I'll probably go with Wonder Stop. I've not played it, but it's from the same guy who did Stanley Parable, I think. But it's kind of like it presented itself as like this cozy game, but it actually like explores a lot of like trauma and that sort of stuff. It reminds me of that. Oh, what was that game? You play on like a you're like guiding people through like to the afterlife.
Oh, Spirit
I can't
Fair.
remember. Spiritfarer. It feels very that coded to me. So I think I'm gonna go with Wonder Stop.
I think I'll go with South of Midnight purely because that's the one I've played, but also I can see how it did have a lot of deeper messages. Particularly, like I think it had a big climate change theme as well, and about how like this flood impacted this area, and there's a lot of like family tales about sort of like certain themes and tragedies in people's past that you as the character have to go and fix. So I can see now kind of the messages it was pushing.
Next is innovation in accessibility. We have Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, which I can't believe that game came out this year. Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight.
So this one this year, they actually put up explanations of what they did.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
really?
If you go onto the Game Awards like website and look at the category, you can be like read about the
Oh
nominees, which is great because sometimes they will have this category and we're like, but what did they do? And you have to go and research and to actually find out.
yeah.
So yeah, I know that's not useful right now for us to go and read like a bunch of paragraphs, but yeah.
I think I'll go with the one I've played, which is Do the Dark Ages. But because it has a lot, like the minutia it gets to in the accessibility is kind of crazy because you can like change how things are like parried, like and like how projectiles work in that game to make it like more palatable for different people. And I think Doom games or games in that genre like can be really intimidating. But the way they've like enabled you to tweak it so it's not super punishing like that, it's really cool. So I think I'll give to that.
I think I'm gonna go Assassin's Creed Shadows. One, just off the bat, I'm like, I just don't know how, like, making that game that has so many things going on, kind of in a similar way to Doom, which I agree with Tom's point, but like making that accessible for people, I think is so tricky. And I think it's like commendable that they're able to do so many things. Like reading the thing, it says they're able to, um, they have like audio described cinematics. They were able to like remap buttons for people to like to make it easier for like mobility issues. Yeah, subtitles like for visuals and things like that. So yeah, that's my pick.
I'm also doing Assassin's Creed Shadows for very similar reasons. Just that you go into that accessibility panel in the game, and there's so many options, including little things like, hey, do you want like one hit assassinations, or like various color blindness settings and things like that. So I think that the Assassin's Creed games for a long time have been some of the best when it comes to accessibility stuff. And so Assassin's Creed Shadows was another example. Next up is Best Performance, which is the Claire Obscure Award, because there are 3 nominees. We have Ben Starr for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Charlie Cox for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote, Jennifer English for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F, and Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Tough one.
Very tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. Charlie Cox has come out and said, "Don't give me the award. It should go to my body double person, like the person who did the motion capture for him." Because he's like, he said like a day of work for the game, and recorded all of his lines there. So there's that. I think his performance in Clair Obscur is really good. I think Ben Starr's performance in Clair Obscur is really good. If I was going to give it to somebody from Clair Obscur, I would actually give it to Jennifer English. But what Troy Baker does as Indiana Jones is like is genuinely insane. Like he is Harrison Ford. And so for that reason, I'm actually going to give it to Troy Baker.
I honestly, I mean, like, I don't disagree with that because, like, it is kind of uncanny how much he sounds like Harrison Ford in that. It's sad that they didn't realize that before. What was it, Dial of Destiny came out, and they could have just used Troy Baker for his young like scenes in that. He sounds old in those young scenes. Harrison Ford does, but I think it's. I could see it maybe as Troy Baker. I'm probably gonna go with a Clair Obscur pick.
Which one? There are so
I
many.
think there are so many. I think I will go with Charlie Cox. He plays Gustav, right?
He does,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think just because of how much of an impact that character seems to have had. I mean, we were at PAX and like there were so many people dressed as Gustav, which is crazy to see. I think that performance would maybe stand out, so I think I'll go Charlie Cox, and maybe hopefully the motion capture guy also gets like a shout out too, because
How cool would it be if Charlie Cox is there?
that would be crazy if he actually shows up.
Like even
I
if
mean,
he like
and he wins, I'm sure that he's going to be calling out his motion capture people.
for
like
sure.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
has to.
But he just like this is hearing him talk about this game. He's not a gamer. He's very just like, oh yeah, like I was asked to do it, and I went in and recorded my lines, and it's having this like immense impact on millions of people that I guess he really didn't expect it to have.
Yeah, I think I see where I kind of am in agreement on Troy, just because I do think that's a incredible performance to replicate something like that. But I just think Clair Obscur is too popular. I think it's on a wave that cannot be stopped. But I'm going to go Jennifer English. Just she won the Golden Joystick Award, and I just think like her character has a lot of hooks in people. And I think that would be really cool to see her win.
Mhm. My only worry is, does this Clair Obscur simply having 3 nominees, does it split the vote at all?
Well,
And then
probably like we've
it
split
ends
the
up
vote
going
among us.
to right? Like it ends up
Yeah.
going to like Troy Baker simply because like he had enough people who just supported Indiana Jones, whereas like the Clair Obscur people have 3 separate performances to pick from. Next up is Best Audio Design. The nominees are Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F.
It's tough because like I'm not as familiar. The only one I'm familiar with is Ghost of Yotei. Just like I don't really know. I mean, like there's a lot of audio design that goes into making guns sound good, I guess, in Battlefield, I suppose. And obviously like Silent Hill, like a lot of horror games, like the tension's built on the audio design. But I do think the audio design in Ghost of Yotei is particularly very good. Like there's little sound bites you have, like just the instrumentations, not even like the music, but like you'll hear little like clicking sounds that like I don't know, it just like scratches a neuron in my brain. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like I just think yeah, I think I need to go Ghost of Yotei.
The sound of transitioning into a memory in Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah.
And the boom is really cool.
So good.
The sound when you flick blood off your sword.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
those
into the
sounds
snow.
so sick.
I'm going to go Battlefield 6 because I do think there's a lot of work that goes into making all the guns and explosions sound different.
Yep. And I'm also doing Battlefield 6 for that reason.
Fair enough.
The guns, the destruction, the rolling of the tank on the gravel as you're hiding, and you can hear it echoing off the walls, stuff like that. I think it's Battlefield 6. Next, staying on the sound side of things, best score and music. We have Hollow Knight Silksong, Hades 2, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. The one thing I would say here is, where the heck is Mario Kart World? That music, that soundtrack is incredible. But I guess it's all rearrangements of like classic songs, but they're some of the best rearrangements I've ever heard. Does anyone have any strong feelings about score or music? I know the like Silk Song music is very good, but also Clair Obscur has the the awesome battle theme with the guy like warbling.
Well, I think I'm split between who I want to win and who I think will win, and I think it's just going to be Clair Obscur from sheer popularity and like the impact that it's had. So that's who I'm picking. However, Hades 2 soundtrack is so good. It's really frustrating. They're having a live concert that Tom is going to. Like it's so good.
I won't spoil how it comes into play, but the music for the second boss going down in Hades 2 is like is
Yeah.
is
Oh,
is
it's
awesome.
amazing.
Is
Yeah.
so
Or going
cool.
down.
Yeah, how you can hear it as you enter and you
Yes,
hear it
yes.
faintly and it gets closer and louder, and then when you finally get there, it's like,
Oh, I'm getting
this
chills.
is so cool. And then the fact that it changes up, like there's like more than one track
Yeah.
as you like come back and revisit, it's like it's genius sound design. But
And there's like in the third one of I don't want to spoil it if you haven't done it, but like there's also a boss that's like maybe you've seen before, and then the theme tune for that kind of calls back to the first game, and so I don't know, it's just so good.
you're picking Clair Obscur.
Yeah, just because I'm going for like the win, right? But
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
be going for Hades too.
Lauren, I'm surprised you didn't go with Silk Song because of Sherma's theme. You know, the at the door.
But technically, that was a sound, right? We were drafting video game sounds.
I guess so. I guess so. It is so difficult. I think I'll probably go Silk Song just to be different, just because the music in that game is insane. It's so good.
I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna do Hades too.
Damn.
I think the music is so good.
Yeah.
Next, we have Best Art Direction. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Lots of very different art styles. Lots of very cool, unique art styles as well.
Dispatch was snubbed. But anyway, I think this is where I'm going to do my Hollow Knight pull. I think this is where I'm going to back my little bug guys because I think like the art direction is so distinct and is so beautiful. So yeah, that gets my vote.
Tom, what about
Yeah.
you?
It's tough because like some of the areas you go in Silk Song are they're so distinct and they're so so much like not improved, but like just so distinct from what they did with the first Hollow Knight. Like the biomes you go to, even like the enemy design, it still retains that essence from the first game, but it goes in such like fun directions. There's this guy who's like a circus performer who's one of the boss fights you go against, and he's just so much fun. And he's one of like many bosses that are like so endlessly creative in that game. So I think I'm gonna go with Silk Song as well. I was like maybe debating between that and Hades 2 because that also is a game where it's like it levels up from the first game so much. But I think I go with Silk Song.
I'm gonna do Clair Obscur just because like that it's such a unique art style. Like it is very different than anything we've ever seen. This world that they create, this very French inspired painterly thing. And also back in the wave. Next up is Best Narrative. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F.
It's Clair Obscur. This is where
It's Clair Obscur.
this is where it sweeps.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's sweeping there. It's gonna go maj the rest of the nominees out of existence. Next is a very fun one. Best Adaptation. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, The Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, and Until Dawn. Where is Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
because that would have made it.
If we can get Indiana Jones on this list, why can't we get Sonic the Hedgehog 3? I think it would win.
That I honestly think it would have too, for
That's
sure.
a fair point.
Like that deserves to be here more than like Splinter Cell does.
Until
Come
Dawn.
on, man.
Well, Splinter Cell,
And
I've heard
until
good
yeah,
things about. Devil May Cry was fine. I liked it okay. Until Dawn's not good.
yeah. Oh gosh.
I'm going The Last of Us. I
Oh,
still think, even though we had some negatives, I think it still was far outweigh the positives still outweigh the negatives, and it's far superior to all of these.
I'm also doing Last of Us. I just I looking among this list, unless the Minecraft movie wins, simply because people are like, hey, people like that.
I it's like, well, I feel like that would win the player vote, but the jury vote, I think people still really liked The Last of Us.
We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes like I'd like to have
And
hope, but you never know.
that's exactly why I'm going with the Minecraft
No
movie
way.
because I think
Okay.
I just there's of these, The Last of Us is definitely the best one. Like, but I think in terms of impact, I can just see a potential where voters will go the Minecraft movie because of how much money it made, how much I don't know, yeah, just like how much impact it made. Like, was that a good impact? Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but I think it has a good shot. Of these, it's probably between those two because yeah, Until Dawn's not winning this like category. Like crazy, like come on.
And now we come down to the last two awards of the night. Best Game Direction. It's the second to last. The nominees are Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. Interesting that Silk Song wasn't here.
Yeah, that is weird.
Game direction's always a mystery to me. I guess
I
it's
know.
like best director in a film, but I'm sort of like, because there's so many moving parts in a game, I'm never quite sure what we're voting on. Like, I guess
Yeah.
the entire direction of the whole game? But then what separates that from game of the year? Like, I don't really
Mhm.
know.
It's very hard in
Um,
gaming because unless your name is like Neil Druckmann or Hideo Kojima, like people don't really think of you like as a like they don't really think about game directors.
yeah,
Yeah.
There is a
Yeah,
Hideo
it's tough.
Kojima game on here though.
that's true.
There is.
But there is also a Joseph Ferris game on here with Split Fiction,
Also,
and
Yeah.
he's famous for his Game Awards appearances.
I mean, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be swearing up a storm, probably. I think where I'm leaning is probably Claire Obscure, just because of like, I mean, all of these kind of have a very singular vision, but like the way it sets about that seems to be like, it has such a distinct style to it and gameplay to it as well that really comes together. And also the narrative, like people love. So I think I'll
Mhm.
probably go Claire Obscure.
I feel like with Claire Obscure, I mean, any game, it's a miracle that it gets made. But with Claire Obscure, the fact that it came out, it looks, it sounds, it feels as good as it does from this small
Mhm.
indie team that I know the number they keep throwing around is like they had 27 people work on it. I'm sure there were hundreds of like contractors on top of that. But like just to keep those moving parts all running and create an indie product like this, it is kind of like I can see why you would give a like if you want to talk like drill down on the definition of what a game director does, I can see why you might give it that. Um I think I'm gonna do Split Fiction here. Just the Joseph
Okay.
Ferris, like I don't know. I was between I don't think that Jeff would actually like weigh the scales to get Hideo Kojima on stage, but like to me it was between like the names that we know, and so I would Joseph Ferris.
my only thing about not doing split fiction is I don't think it was quite as good as It Takes Two in terms of story and impact. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go Claire Obscure.
And the big one, Game of the Year. The nominees are there are 6 nominees: Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Crazy lineup.
Crazy lineup.
Yeah. Oh man.
This might be like if you were to take the I don't know, open critic total. This might be the highest average open critic total that we've maybe ever had for a game of the year lineup. Even though like Kingdom Come Deliverance probably isn't like our cup of tea, like that game got a lot of tens from a lot of places. Every game
Mhm.
on this list got 10s from a lot of places, which usually there's like one or two where it's like, oh, okay, like that was really popular, but like an 8 or a 9. But these are all like bangers.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they're all really distinct from each other. Like, so that's what makes it even more difficult to kind of determine where people will go. I think for me, I don't think it's going to be Bonanza because, like I said, I love Bonanza, but I think it was
Tom,
maybe a
are
bit
you
overshadowed
actually
by some
humming and
good
hawing,
ones.
or are you like, or are you drawing us out for the content? Because I think there is a
Uh,
clear winner. We've talked around it this whole time. I think it's Claire Obscure.
mm,
Like I think Claire Obscure is gonna sweep this event, and it will be their night.
okay, if you think that, I'm gonna go with something else actually, because
Really,
yeah. Then the
I
reason
like this.
I'm
I
saying
like
it,
this because sometimes we
the
don't
reason,
have this kind of like contention into the final award, and we're all like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's Astrobot. It's Astrobot. It has to be Astrobot."
It gotta be Astro, obviously. Yeah, no, I do think there is a chance, and I'm saying this because when the first game came out for this, it didn't win, and I think this is where it gets its flowers. I think I'm gonna go with Hollow Knight Silk Song, because when Hollow Knight came out, it got nominated for Best Debut Indie in 2017, and it didn't win the category. Cuphead did. And I think the fact that it's come around this time, Silk Song's come out. Obviously, there's so much further around it, which is obviously like skewed now because there's all the other games too. But I think the fact that it didn't win back then will like lead people to be like, okay, now is when we give it its time to kind of shine. And like you could say that with Clair Obscur in terms of like it's had such a like insane year as like a debut thing. But I wonder if they give to Silk Song this year, and then when that studio um, makes the next Clair Obscur game, that's when they kind of give it their flowers. That's why my head's at. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go Silk Song.
Lauren,
Well said. It's Claire Obscure 33.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
If
we'll
you want to
see.
talk about like the literal, like take it literally and say like the game of 2025, like it's Clair Obscur. Like whether
Yeah,
you're not even talking about quality or anything. You want to talk about the biggest, like most influential game. When we look back going forward, it's like, oh, what was the game of 2025? People will say it was Clair Obscur because like it's a cultural moment that like people who
yeah,
never play these like JRPGs, even though it's French, but like these like more traditional turn-based RPGs, we're getting into this and going, oh my god, like this story, these characters, this writing, this is amazing. And the way it, sure, other games had done like the parrying and the blocking and the dodging and making like turn-based battles a little more active before, but this really opened a lot of people's eyes to those kind of RPGs. And now they may go back and give Paper Mario or something like that a try because they found that, oh, I can play a turn-based game if they have these sort of like additive elements on it and the story is gripping enough and the characters are like believable enough. And so
This also
I'm
feels like, it's the like we've seen in previous years, like, okay, it's like the Elden Ring year. It's the Baldur's Gate 3 year. Like this feels like this is that game. Like it obviously got the most nominations, but it feels like it's on too much of a hot streak to lose. However, I would love a Hollow Knight upset because they're my Aussies down there. I support them and I think that would be really cool for them to pull out a surprise win. I just think it's such a crowded field.
oh yeah,
totally, totally. And I mean, as we said, if Hollow Knight had come out in any other year, like if it was just
If it
if
was
you took
last
out,
year, easy.
yeah, if it
oh
was
yeah,
last year, easy. It would have. Last year was an Astrobot one, and I still think that, or I think Hollow Knight would have beaten it. It's just like this is a tough year. Think about Hades 2 is also in this category, and we haven't mentioned it, but I
yeah,
don't think it has a chance, but it's amazing. I think it's better than the first game. I think it's one of the best roguelikes I've ever played. But we have these other heavy hitters here to beat it.
yeah. Like I said, it just goes to show like the quality has just been kind of insane this year. Like
Mhm.
it's just kind of astounding to see. And like yeah, on Clair Obscur quickly again, like I've had people like in my life that like I've come to me and be like, "You should play Clair Obscur," and they're not necessarily like gamers, and I'm like, "Yeah, I need to get around to it apparently." But maybe if I had played Clair Obscur by the time this came around, I would have felt a little bit differently. But I don't know.
I don't know. I
I'm sure
think
I'm
that,
a
like,
little
I
bug.
think your love for Hollow Knight Silksong is so deep that it is going to end up being, even if you had played Clair Obscur, I think it will still end up being your game of the year. I think Hollow Knight Silksong, even though I haven't played it, but from everything I've heard, it is a generational game.
Yeah. And that's the
Which
thing. A lot of these
yeah.
games are generational games, which makes it so tough. But great for us because we have all these amazing games.
Gamers are
That being
eating.
said, I would never pay Clair Obscur any mind unless it was getting this kind of attention.
Totally.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of
I
people
think
feel
that's
the
the case
same.
for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Mm.
Okay. That is all of our nomination picks. We'll watch the show. We'll write down who got them. We'll total up the points. And we'll come back next week. But before we exit the Game of the Year, Game Awards conversation, of course, the other part of the show is announcements. We won't do too many predictions. I want one from each of you. Last minute predictions, announcement wise, moment wise. What's going to happen? If you had to add something to your Game Awards bingo card, what is the thing that you think or want to happen at this year's event?
Well, I don't know if this is, but this was my main thing coming in. So maybe this is just something I want to ask you guys in general. What is the statue in the desert? What is it linked to? This Jeff has posted about this weird monolith gate thing in the desert. It's gone the rounds of people thinking it's new God of War, it's Doom, it's Diablo. Now people are like it's Kingdom Come. Like, what do
It's
we think it is?
Cory Barlog's next game is one of the things I saw yesterday.
It's Sauros. Like, I have no idea.
From what I've heard, Jason Schreier has said no one has guessed it yet, like the big trending theories, but he said it's really good. So
Thanks, Jason.
with that said, and there's also, they put out the redacted thing. Did you see where it's like the blank bleeds, the something lives,
Mhm.
I think it might be Bloodborne 2. That redacted thing, reading it, I'm like, this is all like super Bloodborne-y. It was like just like the mention of blood really was really it. But it felt very it felt very FromSoft to me. So if it's not Bloodborne 2, is it Elden Ring 2? Like
Or it could be that the Duskbloods game that's on
True.
Nintendo.
I just don't know if would Jason Schreier come out and say, "Oh, it's a really good one," if it's something we already know about.
Yeah. It does feel like it's something
Like, I respect
kinda
Jason a
new.
lot. Like, Jason tells it how it is, and if he's saying it is something big, then I believe him.
I have no idea, to be honest. I was convinced it was God of War at first, and then the studio came out and said it's not, which could still be a misdirect for all we know. But you know what? Maybe that's what I think it is. I just think they're lying to me. It's about time. It's about time we hear about it. And so if that's not what it is, that's still what I want to hear about at the showcase, even if it's not linked to that.
It's the next Kirby game.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be this necessarily, but this is the only thing that's coming to my head. Next Tomb Raider game, it goes in a crazy like metal direction.
You
There's a
know, they
dinosaur
said
on the statue.
this week they said it's going to be a huge refresh for the franchise.
This is
Maybe
the
they're
thing.
going Tomb Raider Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I think it's about time. And there's a dinosaur on the statue, so maybe it's the return of dinosaurs to Tomb Raider. And that would get me excited. So,
any other last minute predictions?
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
It's about time.
I think it's gonna happen. Which is insane. Jeff has a relationship with Valve, and so I can see it happening there. I can also see Valve doing their own thing, but like, I don't know what I'm going to do if it gets announced. Like, I'm not even a Half-Life fan. I'm just like, this is the thing that was never supposed to happen. and it could happen.
And it's wild that if it is at the Game Awards, it's crazy that it would be at the Game Awards and not as its own thing. Because I'm sure if they just like shadow drop the trailer, it would get like enough attention.
Oh, it'd be the biggest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wild if it is at the Game Awards that like
if it's at the Game Awards,
overtake everything.
There will never be another Game Awards announcement that tops it. Like it will like Jeff Keighley will have it will be his crowning achievement that he literally got Half-Life 3 on the stage of his show.
But I mean, this year's as good a year as any to do that, right? Like, it's been such a good year for games, so maybe he does go out with like a huge, not go out with a bang because he's going to keep doing this forever, but like, do a really good one, which would be
Mhm.
fun.
Tom, do you have any other predictions?
I'm trying to think. Normally, Nintendo has like one thing, but I'm struggling to think what that could actually feasibly be. Um, because like maybe they're not gonna tease the next Animal Crossing or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe they'd like show there's a new Pikmin game coming on the way. I don't know. I think there will be a Nintendo thing. I'm just not too confident in what that would actually be. So it's not a great prediction, but that's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, I've halfway through is gonna be my prediction. Like I think it's gonna happen, and I'm very excited if it does. The other thing that I would shout out is the Nintendo thing we might get might not actually be a game, but give me another Zelda movie casting.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think they could bring out, I don't know, Wes Ball or something and have him present the award for best adaptation. But before he does that, go, hey, and guess what? Chris Pratt's Ganondorf or whatever.
Well, isn't the Game Awards? It's like presented through Prime Video this year or something.
It
Like,
is.
can't you like watch? Yeah, so I'm sure we're gonna get some Fallout stuff
Oh yeah,
For
at the
for
sure.
showcase.
sure. For
Like,
sure.
they
And
want to
I
season
think they'll
one,
be presenting the award.
yeah, or not season one.
yeah, they
Season
must.
two is like the week after. So
Mm.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
it's
Maybe
very
we'll hear about their God of War show.
maybe there's been casting
that would be
rumors going
cool.
around over the last couple of days. But yeah,
That's the God of War we'll get.
the Game Awards is happening this Thursday, December 11th. We'll be live streaming. We'll go live a few minutes before the real show starts. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific. So if you're listening to this in time, come and join us. If you're, I don't know, if it's already happened and you're listening to this, how's the future? Let us know. Let's get into what we've been playing or what we've been watching. Before you two get into the FNAF conversation, I'm just going to quickly, I don't have much to say about it. I've been playing Black Ops 7, the newest Call of Duty, and last year, you guys might remember, got obsessed with Black Ops 6. It was a Call of Duty renaissance. I now remember why I stopped playing Call of Duty yearly, and this is just it's more Black Ops 6, and I had my fill of Black Ops 6. I don't really like it much at all. So that's really all I have to say about Black Ops 7. It is
Oh,
there's new maps, but a bunch of them are from Black Ops 2, which is one of my original like Call of Duty games that I loved. And so there's like some of that nostalgia factor there, but everything else I'm like I've played this game already. And now I
yeah.
can kind of bounce off walls a little bit more than I could before. But that is just like more annoying than anything because people figured out these awful like jumping techniques where they stand outside of a door and like continually bounce off a wall in like a circle and wait for you to come, and then you show up and they're like doing circles and you can't get them and they shoot you. And so yeah, I'm not a big fan of it so far. I don't think I'll be playing much more. I want to give the campaign a shot because it's supposed to get really weird, but I also haven't heard that I've heard it's not the best as well. So just not I thought coming off of last year we had really hit a stride. It is confusing to me that like why are we doing Black Ops 7 a year after Black Ops 6? It really seems silly to me, but here we are. FNAF 2. You guys saw it? You guys have thoughts? I've heard it's great. I've heard it's amazing. It's cinema, movie of the year, Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. How are we feeling? Loving it? Tom, you don't look convinced.
Hang on, I'm going to start.
Yeah, go. Yeah, you go, Lauren. Take it
Because
away.
I talked a big game about this last week when we did our adaptation hype rankings. I put this in A. I had tickets to previews on Thursday night. I was there day one with the rest of the FNAF fans. And I'll be the first to say I was wrong. It is bad. It did not surpass the first film for me, unfortunately. That being said, this film is not made for me. And the FNAF fans who were in the crowd with me thought it was cinema. They loved it. They loved all the little references, the little pieces, the upping of the scares. They had a great time. So I think, and it's making money. So I think that it has done exactly what it needed to do. It built on the lore of the second film, of the first film, sorry. It made things scarier for sure. It is reaching the audience that it needs to. There will be a third one for sure. But as a film, it's bad. Like, The story makes no sense. There's no decent character arcs. Like, yeah, they amped up the scares, but in isolation, the scenes were fine, but just nothing as a conglomerate made sense. And the dialogue is just awful. So that was a time.
Tom, are you in agreement, or are you one of those FNAF fans going like, "We did it. This is the one. We finally like Oscars all around."
Man, this movie is a trip. There are definitely things in it that are like they're definitely for the fans where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a weird like thing they put in there. They included like there's a one point I think they squished like a Freddy plushie and he does the hor 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 hor. And like I wasn't in a packed theater or anything, but I'm sure people
People
loved
stood
that
up. They
part.
were
Yeah, they were
cheering,
like,
throwing
that's my
popcorn to the
goat right
walls.
there. Honestly. But this is a god awful movie. It is absolute trash. Like it's so bad. I basically echo everything that Lauren says. But to be honest, like I don't even know if because this is a horror movie and it really seemed like they were gonna try and like like amp up the scares, make it a bit more scary compared to the first one. But I don't even know if it really succeeds at that because it there was no real sense of tension in a lot of the scenes. Most of the scares are again just jump scares, and like that
That's
is
what the
what
game
FNAF
is.
is. There's
Yeah.
but like they're not good jump scares either. It's literally just a character jumping towards the screen, which is also what the games are. But it's just not satisfying at all, especially when you don't put in the effort of building that tension and that kind of you know atmosphere that a lot of horror movies succeed at. And then you pair that with like some of the worst writing I've seen all year in a movie. Like, yeah, like you said, Lauren, the dialogue is just so wooden and like God help any of the actors in this movie. Poor Josh Hutcherson, man. He really tries, but like he
My poor
cannot
boy.
make this work at
He's
all.
got I Love LA right now. He's doing okay. He's having
Yeah,
fun,
so
I'll
he's
swear.
he's fine. But yeah, I really thought they would improve, but like the fact that for me, like they didn't, it doesn't feel like there's a marked improvement from the first one, and I think it's probably worse overall for it. Even though maybe some parts are a little bit more faithful, they actually. Well, should we get a little bit into spoilers here, like just to
Let's do
talk about because
spoilers.
there are
For the
okay.
people who don't want
Um,
to know, skip forward.
skip forward a little bit. And sorry, Klein, if you were rushing out to see this movie, we're going to spoil it
Oh yeah,
now.
I was really
Um,
hoping to do a double feature of this and the Minecraft movie back to back and just really just immerse myself in what 2025 has had to offer in the world of video game adaptations.
yeah, I'm sure you would have loved this, to be honest. But this is one of the worst twists I've ever seen in a movie. Um, basically, if you're not familiar with FNAF, so in the first movie, you have this character Vanessa who's like she was a cop, I think, and she showed up to kind of help out with the kind of main shenanigans that were going on. But it was revealed that she was actually the daughter of the main villain, William Afton, who kind of did a lot of the murders related to Five Nights at Freddy's, or like the Freddy Fazbear pizzerias and stuff like that. That was all well and good, whatever. But then in this movie, they introduce a character at the very beginning of the movie. His name's Michael, um, and they don't really touch on him too much, but he's like kind of teased at the start of the movie. They loop back around at the very end, and he shows up again, and he says, hey guys, I'm Vanessa's brother, his secret brother, Michael Afton, and I was behind all of this." And it's like, what? Where did this come from? And I'm sure like the FNAF fans, this is like part of the lore, I guess. But
Yeah.
the fact this is not telegraphed at all, it just comes out of no. It hits you like a car, and a car comes through a wall at one point in the movie. It literally felt like I was on the other end of that car because it was like, what are we doing here? And that leads to like this just extremely anticlimactic third act because of that, and this like sequel bait of like now Vanessa's kind of evil. She's like possessed by the marionette
Oh,
thing,
so we're gonna get
and that's going
more.
to lead into
We're
the
gonna get a
third
Oh,
movie.
FNAF
we're getting
3.
more.
Oh,
We're
good.
getting more because, like Lauren said, like it's making money, so they're definitely going to do a third
Third time's
movie.
the charm,
They
guys.
also
This will be the one.
we'll
If the
see
Sonic
about that.
franchise can do it, so can the FNAF franchise.
But Sonic
Maybe
got
this-
progressively better. This is getting progressively worse.
Yes. The problem.
And I just want to say on the Afton thing, I had like my main takeaway was that this was the same crowd that I saw Minecraft with, because they were cheering, chatting. I had a very loud.
They were like, "Oh, hey, Lauren." You're like, "Oh, hey,
some
Dave.
loud
How you doing?"
teenagers in front of me who were chatting through the entire movie, and I nearly threw something out. But they very loudly were like, "Oh, that's Michael Afton, not William Afton's secret son or something." I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks for telling me that."
Cool.
Did not keep that quiet at all. That is in the lore, though, that there is a Michael
It
Afton.
is.
The only thing is that, and I wrote about this on the direct and learned very quickly about it, is that they thought that Josh Hutcherson's character, Mike Schmidt, was Michael Afton, but clearly he is now a very separate character.
Yeah.
Because that would also be weird if he'd gone on a date with his secret sister.
Oh, gee, that's true. It's Empire Strikes Back all over again. Oh god, yeah. It's such a weird part of the lore, but yeah, like if they had integrated a bit more in the movie, I wouldn't have necessarily had a problem with it. Even though it is kind of like, yeah, we're just doing that again, what the first movie did, but whatever. But it's just crazy, and they also, I don't know if you stuck around to the post credits, Lauren, because there is a post credits. But they teased spring. There were two. I didn't say for the second one. Like I left after that.
Well, the second one's like an audio thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But you have to wait until after the first one.
Like, I wrote an article for the direct saying there's only one, so I gotta go do some.
You should probably go amend that.
Yeah, you gotta. The first one is just like Springtrap, who is, I guess, is William Afton. He's crushed. He was crushed by that yellow rabbit suit in the first movie, and it teases that he's going to come back in the third one, which is like the plot of the third game, I guess. But I just, after this, I just don't think I have any interest in.
Tom, I can't believe you skipped over the greatest scene in all the movie, the Avengers portal moment, where all the animatronics come back. I'm not even making this up. There's a moment where all the toys, all the Wizards are in the house, and then to defeat them, it's Abby's original friends from the first movie who she thought were decommissioned. They come back because they must protect their friend and destroy all the other animatronics.
I forgot that happened, and it is actually it is framed genuinely like the Endgame portal scene. It is insane.
But he sings that doom 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 or whatever Foxy's sound is, and then everyone in the theater cheered. I was like, oh my god!
On your left, Josh Hutcherson.
But then, like, they all, I guess, get decommissioned at the end. Like, they all just fall apart.
Yeah, all their spirits go away.
Yeah,
because the difference is in this movie, so the original movie, the animatronics are possessed by children's souls who are murdered.
Yeah,
and then in this new one, they're all toys, so they're all robots. Like they're just completely like, well, they're controlled by the marionette, I suppose, but there's no souls in those ones. Which is why we have voices like Megan Fox, who so brilliantly performed Chica. I could absolutely tell that it was her.
It was good, a good performance.
I mean, she had the most lines.
Good for her. I'm glad she's getting work.
She did, and like, yeah, I think Matt Pat voices Bonnie, and I was like, "This does not sound like him." It's like one line.
Did he game theory it up in the movie? Was he like,
"Oh,
that's just a theory, a game theory"?
No, he sounds weird. He's putting on a voice like to play this character, but
they're all. Like,
I guess he was in the first movie. So. Yeah, so they sound a little weird. The last thing I'll say about this is that they actually do Five Nights at Freddy's in this movie, as in they do the bit where it's like they do the scene where it emulates what you do in the game, where it's like he's watching, Josh Hutcherson's character is watching screens and he's like researching stuff on it while having to like avoid the animatronics coming to him. Yeah, check the lights and stuff. There's like, he makes a comment of like how there are no doors and how it's like stupid that like they would like make a security room like this. But like, this is the scene that got me, which had my head in my hands, and it's part of the game, so it's hard because they are trying to adapt some of the stuff. But there's a scene where Josh Hutcherson grabs a Freddy mask, like it's like a leftover Freddy mask, and he uses it and he puts it on basically to avoid the detection of the other animatronics, and they just scan like the Freddy mask, and they're like, "Oh, he's an animatronic."
He's like coating himself in the blood of the like predator, so they don't like track his scent. That's awful. I hate that.
Yeah, and it's
That
just
is
so
directly from the
goofy.
game.
It is in the game,
Um,
so like, but I just they
Yeah, but
could
this
have
is an
done something
adaptation.
different.
This is like it worked for the game. Like it was a very, very simple game
Yeah,
with obviously very dense lore. This is your time to like, if you wanted to like make it good, make it more cinematic. Here's how like you could do it now.
yeah.
yeah, that wasn't the part of the scene that bothered me. It was the fact that he knew that they were coming for him and just kind of ignored them and kept researching and doing whatever he had to do. And I was like, You don't think you would?" It's just like there was people are really dumb in this movie. They make really
Oh yeah.
dumb decisions and like just like out of logic. It's kind of like watching one of those really old B grade horror movies where you're just like, turn the light on before you go into the
Look in
room.
the
Like
closet.
Yeah.
Look in the
they just
closet.
do stupid things, and it's really frustrating as a viewer when people do that. But in the scene in particular, like it was obviously a recreation of the game. The other thing that frustrated me, I they had this so there's this marionette character. Actually, there's two annoying things that really confused me. One was Balloon Boy.
Oh yeah.
He's made to be this huge giant character. I don't really know his backstory in the game because he's in the movie for like 3 seconds and then gets his head ripped off. And I'm like, was that it?
Oh, really? He
Like,
was the
Yeah.
what?
post-credit tease of the first film, right?
I can't even
Yeah,
remember.
he shows up. It's the taxi driver and he turns on the light and then he looks down and oh, it's Balloon Boy there and it's like ah and then it ends.
Wait, really? I don't even
Yeah.
remember
Can't remember.
that. That's
Anyway,
crazy.
I didn't really know
But
what his purpose was. There's also this river in the original Freddy's restaurant, and like the characters of course are going through the river at some point or fall in, and there are these small little marionette things that go in the water and then like eat people like they're piranhas or something, and I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Where did they have teeth on their bodies? Like, where are their weapons? Like, I just did not understand. I don't know if that's from the game as well, if there are FNAF fans out
I
there
don't
who would
think
like
it
to
is.
tell me the backstory of
Oh,
that.
I'm
I
sure
just thought
there are,
that was so
Lauren.
weird.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
the DMs are gonna be full.
Yeah, please do tell me
Yeah.
what I'm missing here.
Honestly, I will say, to give the movie one small bit of credit, like the idea of the marionette I thought was interesting, just the way like it possesses people, but I don't think it's used like fruitfully. Like it's not used to its full extent at all. Like it possesses McKenna Grace's character at the start of the movie, but then like so I was like, oh okay, this is like how they're gonna get around like the marionette itself looking kind of goofy. But like that's tossed aside. And I don't know. I also just want to. I know we're hopping on this, but going back to that scene on the computer, going back to that logic thing of like these characters are so stupid. Like Josh Hutcherson's character is like tracking the animatronics, and he realizes, oh, I should just disconnect these animatronics from the network because I guess that's how they're being transported. Like they're connected to the original Freddy's and around, allowed to roam around town. But it's like, why didn't you think to do that in the first place? Like, you could have disconnected them. You don't have to track them. It doesn't matter where they are. If you disconnect them all, then that's done, right? But they drag it out, and it's God. I
Yeah.
fell asleep after I watched this movie because I was just so mentally like done in that I couldn't take it anymore, man. It was crazy.
I think it's really hard because I don't envy the position they're in. I think it's really hard to make a story out of this game, even though it has all this deep lore and things like that that people get into. Like in the end of the day, it's a jump scare game where you're sat at a computer or in a pizzeria. Like it's really hard to stretch that out into
Yeah.
a whole film. But it just feels like the story that they've put around it with these characters is so uninteresting. Like we're all just here for the animatronics, let's be real. But they have like they just haven't figured out how to make those things connect. Like even like using Sonic as an example, like we don't love the human story, but the fact that it's like, oh, they're family and things like that kind of connects it all. Whereas in FNAF, it's sort of like a weird thing, like, okay, Josh Hutcherson is now like in charge of his sister who is obsessed with the animatronics, but he doesn't want to let her see them. And I don't know, it's just so uninteresting to me.
Mhm.
And like Vanessa as a character has this past with her dad and like trying to deal with her that legacy, and it's all such ham-fisted in there. It just doesn't make sense. And this whole in this movie, it was all about this young girl who was one of the. It was a terrible opening scene, but like she was murdered at Freddy's, and that's how she became the marionette, and she's the evildoer in the film. And the idea is like, oh, she's going to take revenge on the parents because they didn't take action, but it's not the parents who were there that night. It's just adults in general. Like, she just hates all
Yeah.
adults, and I'm like, this makes no sense. Also, why are you so obsessed with leaving the pizzeria? The pizzeria is the cool thing. Stay in the pizzeria.
Honestly. Well, that was another like thing of like that whole river thing. I was like, I want to go to Freddy's. Like, this is sick. This is a cool like little location where you go on the river ride and you got all this other stuff going on. Um,
And
yeah,
don't
it's
get me
it's
started on the science fair. We're not going there.
yeah, that's yeah, we won't be talking too much about that. But like the fact that Wayne Knight was in this movie and like he's in Seinfeld, he's in Jurassic Park and stuff, completely wasted in this movie. Just like and also just a garbage character. He's just a dog of a bloke.
Anyway, I'll watch the third one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, both of you, after all of this, both of you will be there at FNAF 3 in 2020, probably 2027. But
Probably.
I
well,
say I won't, but like I probably end up. I probably will.
at least you guys can like trauma bond over your experience having seen FNAF 2, not together, but
I guess.
separately together. Let's go over to our comment corner where there's significantly less haunted animatronics. Tom, do we have any comments from this week?
Yeah, we just have a couple here. Not FNAF related, luckily. But yeah, we have one here from at Lost Impact 1917. Going back to Lauren's Pragmata thoughts actually from PAX West. And they say, I'm betting you probably had to show up a little early the day to only have to wait 4 hours to play Pragmata. I'm going to PAX East for my first time ever going to PAX. Next year, I'm betting I'll probably encounter similar, if not longer lengths to play both Pragmata and Onimusha if they're both present. And yeah, Lost Impact, if you're seeing this, if you want to play those games, get there as soon as you can because the lines were pretty crazy. And like the fact that we had to wait so long because they had such limited booths. I mean, maybe they'll change it for PAX East, having known what they did at PAX West this year. But yeah. So
Also, Tom,
if you're
you have
watching
to
this,
remember the lines will be longer because at the Game Awards, they're going to announce that Pragmata is actually secretly the Mega Man game we've all thought it was.
that's
So maybe
true.
they'll have more
So
booths.
Yeah.
the demand is going to be crazy. Yeah. And then, yeah, we also got another comment here from our boy Ryan Cortero on our last episode. And he says, not even a big Zelda fan, but I'm very excited for the live action movie. Wes Ball did an amazing job with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, so I can't wait to see what he does with The Legend of Zelda. Also helps that Link and Zelda aren't played by big name actors. And yeah, I think that's correct. So yeah, thanks for your comments, guys, and keep them coming.
Great stuff. And this week's comment corner question of the week is, what is the one thing you want to see from this year's Game Awards? You can let us know here on YouTube in the comment section below or over on Spotify in the comment section over there. You can also follow the show at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky, at Controller_Club on Twitter, and at controller.club on TikTok. And if you're listening to the show on podcast services around the globe, we do a video version each and every week. It is over on our YouTube channel, Controller Club. Look us up in the search bar there. It will come up right near the top. Click on that, subscribe, leave us a comment, ring the bell, thumbs up. It really helps us out in our ever ongoing fight against the algorithm. And if you're on Spotify or podcast services elsewhere, please rate and review us 5 stars. It really helps us out. Tom, in the week heading into Game Awards, where can people keep up with you and all of your ongoings on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Gerard, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, basically everywhere on the internet. Yeah, not much to promote. I've been posting more Pokemon stuff, opening Pokemon packs. I got pretty lucky this week, so if you want to see how lucky I got, Tom Gerard, you'll find all that stuff there.
You heard that here on the podcast. Tom Drew got lucky this week. Next up, it is Lauren. Where can people keep up with you, and what do you have going on in your life?
You can follow me at lrouse19 on Twitter, TikTok, and what's the other one? Blue Sky. I've actually been busy on other podcasts this week after failing to align schedules with TJ's Origin, the Agents of Fandom podcast, for like an entire 6 months. I'm on twice in 1 week. I chatted about Stranger Things 5 with the crew over there, and also Pluribus, my new TV obsession. So if you want to go hear all my theories and thoughts of that with the lovely folks over there, that's on their channel at Agents of Fandom, and I reposted it on my socials.
Pluribus is so very
That's
good. If you're
amazing.
not watching that, you need to go and watch it. You can keep up with me everywhere. I'm at the Kleinfelt, TheKleinFelt. That's going to wrap up this episode of Controller Club. As we teased earlier, we will be going live for the Game Awards this coming week. Thursday, December 11th, we'll start around 5 p.m. Pacific, heading all the way through the award ceremony. So if you're listening to us early enough, come and say hello. As always, here on the episode, thank you so much for listening, watching. Now, let's get gaming.